But because there is a real possibility for incredibly positive change in our country.
I know where you're going.
In the biggest economy in our country, California. Larry Elder has a legitimate chance to be the governor come Tuesday. How does the race look on the ground? And then I want to get into your interview, which is huge breaking news.
Yeah, so look, on the ground, I think there is so much incredible support for Larry. And look, of course, I'm supporting Larry, and Larry's a friend of mine, so I'll put that right out there up front. I've campaigned with Larry. I adore Larry. Larry had a huge amount to do with my own political awakening in that video about systemic racism that's been seen on YouTube, something like 20 million times. I mean, really helped me wake up to the lies of the left. But I can tell you, when I've gone to some of these events, thousands of people are showing up, and it is an abject lie that Obama and Newsom and Kamala Harris and the rest of them are pushing that this is a Republican recall. These are, there's Republicans, there's conservatives, but these are libertarians, they're liberals, they're apolitical people who have been mugged by lockdown reality. They're restaurant owners who aren't political at all, who just want to go back to work. There are good, decent people. There are black people, Latino people, gay people. It's across the board. People have just had it with Gavin Newsom, and Larry's made a point that I've heard him say a couple times in the last week, that even the people supporting Newsom, the big head, the big people like Obama, they're not saying Newsom's good at anything. They're just saying, oh, Larry Elder's scary. Right. Larry Elder's going to be scary when it comes to school, and Larry Elder's going to be scary when it comes to kids and COVID. Nobody says anything good about Newsom because there's nothing good to say about Newsom. If you think that destroying the economy is good, then vote for Newsom. If you think that homeless people everywhere is good, then vote for Newsom. If you think that Venice Beach becoming a den of drugs and violence, then vote for Newsom. If you think that skyrocketing house prices is good, then vote for Newsom. There's nothing good you can say about Newsom. So I really think there's a chance. I have to couch that, though, by saying, this is a one-party state. We're allowing mail-in ballots that you can not only print yourself, but that can be mailed in, meaning they can be postmarked on the 14th, on Election Day. So, am I a conspiracy theorist to at least bring up the question, well, is it possible that in a one-party state, if they don't have the result that they want at the end of the day, that they might just say, oh, actually, we do have to wait a couple days because we don't have those mail-in ballots. And boy, it's odd that people can print out their own ballots. That's really something. So right after I do this interview with you, Stu, I'm actually going to vote in person with my whole team. And yes, I will be voting for Larry Elder.
Well, that's good to hear. You're right. The mail-in thing is just a bad practice. Even if it runs perfectly, I think it puts tons of doubts in people's mind. You point out the way that they're running this. It really is kind of an echo of the Biden campaign against Trump, where he's saying, look, no one cared about Joe Biden. No one voted for Joe Biden. They only voted against Donald Trump. And they're trying to make Larry Elder into this scary figure to go that way. But as you found out this week with Rose McGowan, and this is an incredible story, Gavin Newsom is even scarier, I think, than we even realized. Can you walk us through how this all came about?
Yeah, so I had Rose McGowan on. Rose McGowan, of course, is an actress, but really what she has become most well known for is she really is the person that broke the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal. That in essence, he was a serial rapist and did all sorts of evil criminal activity that really led to the Me Too movement. And pretty much every feminist in America had him painted as the most evil guy. Well, I had Rose McGowan on yesterday, and she told me that 3 months before the Harvey Weinstein story broke in the New York Times, she got a call from Jennifer Newsom, Gavin Newsom's wife, on behalf of David Boies, who was Harvey Weinstein's lawyer, to find out what it would take for her to be happy. In essence, how much money could we give you to make this story go away? Now, what's the connection with Jennifer Newsom there? Why was she doing that on behalf of Harvey Weinstein's lawyer? I don't know. I don't know that Rose knows. I will tell you this. I believe Rose, and Rose says she has the receipts. And I'll actually leave a little mystery to this part. I may or may not have seen them, okay? So you can put together what you need to put together there. But the bigger issue here, so first off, what does she have to do with it? And did Gavin know that his wife was basically, the middleman for a ransom on Rose's silence? That's one thing. But the fact that we've now sent this clip out and, it's only being picked up by The Blaze and The Daily Wire and Real Clear Politics and Free Beacon, it's being picked up by everybody on the right. But the clip has, 800,000 views, something like that on Twitter. And it's abjectly being ignored by mainstream media. And one of the types of fake news that I talk about in that book right behind me is when they ignore the stories that don't fit the narrative. The media wants Gavin Newsom to win, and they will protect their own. So they don't care about women. They don't care if Rose McGowan was raped or if Jennifer Newsom and potentially Gavin Newsom had something to do with trying to pay her off to silence her. They don't care. They don't care about women. I mean, this is what everyone must understand. They pretend to care about women, but they care about power. They pretend to care about gay people, but they care about power. They pretend to care about black people, but they care about power. Thus, Larry Elder can be assaulted while being in Venice by a gorilla-wearing lefty lunatic, and the headline in the LA Times implies that he got into a scuffle as if it had something to do with him, and it shows a picture of him putting his hand on a woman's face. He was going to hug her, but the way the whole story is framed by the LA Times, that I can only deduce is a white supremacist newspaper, is that Larry Elder was trying to attack this woman. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
It really is. I mean, the LA Times twice with that particular story went out of their way to try to make everyone believe he was the bad guy in the story, or that he was just poorly received by the community, which is a lot different than having a racist attack against a black man walking in Los Angeles. I feel like we've heard stories when that has occurred. It's been kind of big news.
Stu, call me crazy, but do you think that if, say, Stacey Abrams was walking down the street and a white person in a gorilla mask threw an egg at her — Stacey Abrams, of course, happens to be black, just like Larry Elder — do you think that maybe that would have made it on CNN or the Washington Post or the New York Times or ABC or CBS or NBC? Of course, it would have been the lead story on every single one. Every single Democrat would have said this is proof of racism and that America's evil and everything else. It was ignored by every single one of them. And by the way, the LA Times, one of the stories that Adam Carolla told me when I came back, and I've now seen the headline, called Larry Elder the black face of white supremacy. So are they accountable when Larry Elder then gets assaulted? I mean, they're calling him in essence a white supremacist. The idea that Larry Elder is a white supremacist, it's so beyond the pale, but nothing's beyond the pale these days.